you have better arguments as an NBA fan. That's a dumb argument. Hockey
players are great athletes.
Hockey players are badasses. I'm good enough at golf to know that I suck.
He doesn't suck, guys.
That might be the next Chuckers Club. Sophie is convinced that if you gave her a year, she could be a professional tennis player.
An abundance of people that I think just wanted to physically fight you.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit in the face. Saying like, I'll beat you up, like fine, but that doesn't do anything for the argument. I'll play them left-handed in tennis and they won't get a game. I have like an overflow of ideas on our text chain with Mike and JW and Social Sophie, and we kind of sometimes can't get to them, or we have an idea for a show. Today, I said something a couple weeks ago on the show, are basically making the argument that tennis players are the best athletes on earth. I feel that way. It's funny because I'm kind of dark on social media right now. I don't see anything. I don't see comments. I don't really, Sophie was laughing at me. Oh, welcome, Social Sophie, by the way. She's going to be presenting the mean tweets.
Tell everyone how you view your own podcast.
Yeah, you thought that was pretty funny.
This is the craziest thing in the world to me.
I go to Google and I type in served YouTube, and then I can see who's watching and how many subscribers we have. That's how I do it.
Google served goes to the YouTube top link that Google gives him, and then has to click into his own podcast page.
Yeah.
And then that's all you can see of it. It's crazy.
Hey, Andy, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great.
Seriously.
I've done it. I just can't remember sign-in details. I've definitely poked the old subscribe button. Boop boop. Okay, so I said this. There's a lot of pushback, and I kind of know when something hits on our show because I get my friends and different industries and whatever. They'll send a clip that I can't watch because I don't have Instagram or anything else. So they'll send a clip. I can't watch it, see it. And they'll be like, oh, I was saying this to my friend. But when I get that 4, 5, 6, 7 times, I know something's going. And so then I'll text Mike and be like, oh, is something popping off on the show? And he's like, yeah, the athletes thing went for 2 million people or something stupid on social. And then, Sophie was sending me basically responses that were just cooking me, which I find endlessly hilarious. I'm never mad at anyone for disagreeing with me. I can tell you why I think you're wrong. But the more personal someone gets, the funnier I think it is. So we were going to kind of do that. And then we got Darren Cahill, which was the best episode ever, where I learned 27 things. And obviously, we're not going to do a little show about mean tweets over Darren Cahill. So there's overflow. And then by next week, the mean tweets aren't as funny. We're going into Wimbledon. So we were basically let's put out I don't know, is it a private show for Chuckers Club? It's just an extra show, bonus show. What'd you call it?
It's just a Chuckers Club special.
Yeah, Chuckers Club special. Anyway, so it's basically going to be for 20 or 30 minutes, Sophie reading people crushing me and telling me why I'm stupid and smelly on the internet. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Social Sophie, take it away.
This came from YouTube from 4 days ago from Reginald Phillips, 7615. You could argue that if you can do it for 6 hours straight, it's not that hard.
Okay, what about a month straight in the Tour de France? That's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. So the argument is basically, since these guys are killing themselves for 5.5 hours, which was one of my big points, isolated, since they can do it, it can't be that hard. Now imagine if you applied that logic to anything, anywhere. Imagine Steve Jobs creating the iPhone and be like, well, fuck, if he did it, I mean, it can't be that hard if people are doing it. What a dumbass.
I mean, can I give you a little stat? An Ironman triathlon average finish time is 13 hours, so it must be super fucking easy.
Super easy. Now, is it like a sliding scale? If you do something for 12 minutes, does that mean it's harder? How does that work? How does that scale? How does Ballmer's Peak on this work?
So many jokes I could have just made.
Oh, I was thinking all of them, or at least half of them. But, okay.
Oh, so many jokes.
I love
the family-friendly environment.
Well, if they can do it for 6 hours, then it's not that hard. Okay. All right.
Well, on the opposite end of the scale, then this one from we can put a screenshot of this. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. Also on YouTube says Tour de France is almost a month. Andy, relax, homie. Tennis is insane, but doesn't even come close to cycling.
Sure. Sure. A big event that lasts a month, and then you go to your other. How about an 11 and a half month season? God, I would have loved to just played in one time zone for a month straight. That would have been great. And I would have loved to have doped my ass off for better results.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like the Tour de France, there is a level.
Put
of
it in
like
my veins, and I bet I can go for 3 months.
There's a level of like competitive, nature, but you're still on a team, right? There's still moments where you can draft. There's still moments where you find like which stages you're better at. Like you're not like one-on-one against somebody. And you said something that Andre said, right? Like all you gotta do is beat one person a day.
Yeah,
it's that easy when you're Andre Agassi, right? But like that's one-on-ones is a lot.
To be clear, the Tour de France is brutal. Triathlons are brutal. It takes physicality like you've never seen, and I think tennis. Half of my responses are going to be funny today and not fully baked and fully thought out and whatever. But tennis is the most thorough examination of all of the skill sets. Like the Tour de France, you can train very, very specifically. Swimming, if you're freestyle, you train very specifically. Repetitive movement for long periods of time is a great skill set. Tennis, you need to be able to play 6 hours every other day. You need to be fast. You need to be coordinated. You need to be big. You need to be all of these things at the same time, right? And also you're your head coach while you're on the court, right? You're actually having to navigate these things. You are isolated. So because things are hard and physically demanding doesn't mean that it's an examination of everything the way that tennis is, in my opinion.
Not to stir the pot even further, but we got a lot of backlash from triathletes, but also just straight and marathon runners.
Okay.
Am I being naive? Like, could Yannick Sinner not run a marathon?
I have some time for this one. So the triathletes I'm going to leave alone because they're
incredible.
Fucking phenomenal. It is talking about doing a different thing, running a marathon, getting on a bike, swimming in open water. Nope. Don't want to do that.
Yeah, so real
impossible.
quick, just to give them some love, an Ironman triathlete, like I said, 13 hours, an Olympic triathlon time, an elite is 1 hour and 50 minutes, and amateur is 3 hours. So, I mean, just when you're elite, you're literally twice as better as somebody that's just average. Average is still incredible.
I don't have a huge argument against triathlons, by the way, other than the fact that people don't watch them. Right, like so the interest level is, I'm not saying it's not hard, it's just if you compare ratings to other sports, there's generally, but marathons, all right. I know lots of people are proud of their marathons, and I think it's great. My wife has done a half marathon, she loved it, she trained, the whole thing. Most of the accountants and some of the most unathletic people that I know personally have completed marathons.
Yes.
Right.
And athletic people. But totally. it's something you train for, right? And at the end of the day, you're not reacting to anything but yourself.
Like to give context, Wozniacki didn't train and went and ran the New York Marathon in like an insane time.
Ooh,
like didn't train, just did it.
And you're not training from the time you're 5. You're training for the 6 months prior.
James Blake doesn't play tennis anymore. He goes and runs marathons for fun. Like he raises money and he trains some. Wozniacki just dialed one in New York, and just did it, and her time was absurd.
3 hours, 26 minutes, 33 seconds.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
3 hours, 20, and she doesn't train. So you take very simply, and this is going to be the argument for, I suspect for many of what we're going to get. Wozniacki can go run a marathon in an insane time. You can't go do anything that she does. That's it.
That's
it.
the end.
She can do what you do, and you can't do what she does. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get this. These are just a difference of opinion, but they're not super mean.
A favorite? No, I like I said, I feel like people could have been a little bit meaner next time. Maybe.
Oh well.
No, I mean, let's relax.
A favorite Andy quote of mine about marathons is what is it? They're just giving awards for exercise.
Oh, medals for exercise.
Medals for exercise.
Best one of the best lines in any show ever. It was the guy who it was the principal of the school that he was going to substitute teach at. Danny McBride's a genius, by the way. So he comes, the guy's, well, Kenny Powers, I know you're an athlete. I don't want to brag, but I've done a couple of marathons. listen, I'm not interested in medals for fucking exercise, okay? And it killed me. It was the best.
That was a good impression of the principal, by the way.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Drew Fugazi on YouTube says, how many matches a year do tennis players even play? I'll wait. This is a joke, right?
What's he waiting for? Is he waiting to download Google?
Yeah, I think he's waiting for a deep dive into tennis scheduling, which he can find on our channel pretty easily.
Soon. Yeah. Another stat for this, right? A lot of guys were saying like NBA guys and things like that. And like Gilbert Arenas' group was talking about it. And I think they had a good like full circle conversation about it, which we'll get to. But if you take Novak Djokovic's 2024, he was on the court for like 150 hours or something like that through the entire season, playing like 10 major, like big time events. If you take just his competitive play, not even practice, the average NBA player is on the court for 42 hours for an entire season. Right. So
no,
I mean,
and that's a very, very, very trimmed down specific schedule that Novak plays.
That's a very specific person in 2000.
We could come up with an insane number for someone who's just a workhorse.
That's what I mean. Like that's a guy that's going to the quarters and semis and finals of 5-set and 3-set events, right? I think I was 10 events or something like that. Like it's
Medvedev. So let's give context. I'll get the exact number wrong. Medvedev, when he lost to Sinner in the finals of the Aussie Open last year, I want to say he was on the court. It was 25, 26 hours for over 2 weeks. And so if you're telling me the average NBA player plays 40, and by the way, that's fucking in Australia when it feels like you're standing on the sun, versus 42 hours. Now, NBA, I go to 30 NBA games a year. I love the NBA. This is not it's so skilled. Like the combination of size, skill, the best players in the NBA is unbelievable. But you have better arguments as an NBA fan than usage and hours spent on court. That's a dumb argument. You could have picked better arguments. That one's almost like not challenging to discard.
Yep. Speaking of the Gills Arena conversation, Chris Eubanks got involved on their Instagram page and said, I want to invite y'all to the US Open this summer to watch tennis up close, and then we can all get on the courts to play.
So I don't know I didn't watch any clips. I don't know what Arenas said. I'm assuming it wasn't great. No,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
A few of them were on your side. It was pretty well rounded.
No, it wasn't bad. Like Kenny Martin, go Bearcats. His point, he was like, he was talking about, and Gilbert was saying what you just said a little bit ago, is that can a player come and do your sport, right? And he was basically saying like, Andy Roddick, you couldn't come and do basketball, but they play tennis.
Bullshit.
Right?
One of my favorite NBA player of all time is Dwayne Wade. Right now, whoever's listening, go Google Andy Roddick, Dwayne Wade plays tennis. He literally looks like he just discovered hands when he plays tennis. And I love it. He's my favorite player ever.
But so the other guys actually said, they're like, that's not true. Andy Roddick could come in and play a three or play a pick and roll guy or play, like, he can come in and fit into our team and contribute because he's a good athlete.
I played basketball to their point. And this, I'm not comparing this to NBA basketball. So let's just let that go. But you want a true story about my basketball career, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please.
Okay. So I went to a small school in Florida, and there were barely any students, but we basically just needed to go somewhere that we could miss school. All right. So they had a basketball team, and they play the little districts and whatever. I don't even understand how it all works. So one day the coach says, hey, our team is struggling a little bit. Can you guys come this week? And you guys meaning like the 5 guys that were in our tennis group. So it would have been that people know, like Marty Fish, Dave Martin played on tour in doubles. Chris Martin was good at Illinois. Jeff Boyd was another. So like, but these guys could play a little bit. Like Jeff Boyd was all state in middle school in basketball in Georgia. So we're like, yeah, no problem. So we play like a proper game. We blow them out by 50 just because we can run and we'd never get tired. Anyways, so the rest of the season, our coach would let us play in the games. We couldn't start. So 2 minutes into the game, he would sub all of us in. We won districts, won a round at regionals. And then I was playing power forward and I was 6 feet tall. I was all of a sudden guarding a guy 6'10". And the most smoked I've ever been was Mike, I'm telling you, I went in for a layup, a breakaway. I did not see this guy. He pounded the basketball off off the backboard. It landed past half court. Point being, we had never played basketball. We won districts and kind of made a play at regionals. We can play basketball.
Yeah, you can play basketball. You can fit in, again, team sport, right? Like it's not mano a mano. It's not your best versus my best.
Yeah.
And if you're 6'10", playing against Mike Hayden, who's 5'10", 6'10's probably going to win out, right? If you're 6'5", playing 5'10" in tennis, it's not a given.
I'll throw something back at them. I'll throw out a challenge. I'll play them left-handed in tennis and they won't get a game.
I like this. We're going to send this to Josiah.
I'll play them left-handed and they won't get a game.
Best case scenario, this turns into a Chuckers Club exclusive of you just playing different pro athletes at their sport. Like we could take this really far.
Sight unseen, I'll do that. I get one serve, underhand, right-handed, and I can't use any spins. I just have to put it in the court, and then I'll play lefty.
Then you play lefty the whole time.
Yeah, and they won't win a game.
All right. CJ Kramer from YouTube said moving 10 feet left and right for a few hours does not even sort of compare to 20 minutes of professional hockey.
Hockey players
are great athletes.
Hockey players are badasses, I'll tell you.
Hockey players are great athletes.
I can't argue hockey much, and I can't argue soccer or football much. But you're completely underselling tennis. Moving 10 feet, like it's just so stupid. You literally have to be ready at any point to cover 12 feet left, 12 feet right, running at an angle forward, at an angle backwards. You literally have to run like if you drew a circle around what you had to cover, every single shot for 6 hours, you're having to cover probably 15 feet every direction. And you get about a quarter of a second to see it and move.
I'll give you another direct stat too, because a lot of these people just say things. In a 5-set match, the average distance covered is 5 to 6 miles. Isner in that 11-hour match, they each ran around 6.5 miles.
Oh, they don't even run.
Those guys don't even run. But an average 5-set match is 5 to 6 miles. The average distance skated by like the front guy in hockey, the average distance is 3 miles, but the front row in hockey is 3.5 to 5 miles
on skates.
On skates, they're comparable.
Do this. But let's get to the next one, Mike. Pull up that Rafa Novak match from 2012 and see if anyone calculated distance covered in that one. Sprinted, by the way. You're not It's not jogging for 6 hours. It's like a dynamic from a static position sprinting. It's like a center fielder not stopping. That's a good comparison. It's a center fielder not stopping in every play directed at the center fielder. And the center fielder might have to make 4 or 5 plays in the same play, but nonstop for 6 hours.
This says it was a 5-hour and 53-minute match. And a Tennis Australia's high-performance manager, Makar Reed, am I saying that name right, estimated that both Novak and Nadal each covered anywhere between 5 and 6.5 miles.
Yeah, and that's just, that's before we get to everything else that's hard about the game.
That's rapid changes in directions, lunges, recoveries, sliding, getting set, torquing your body. Again, I think hockey is probably the closest thing, but they're on skates and they're getting hit.
In Australian summer, you're dead. Like it literally smells like burning tires on that court. All right. What do we got, Soph?
From Cameron Turner, golf is arguably harder and more demanding.
Shut up.
Okay, fuck off.
I kind of just threw that one in to piss you off.
Please stop.
Is arguably harder and more demanding?
Arguably, no.
And maybe he was joking, but there were a few about golf that
I'll tell you about, I love golf. I play golf. I'm good enough at golf to know that I suck. I don't think that's a skill that a lot of people in the comments know.
He doesn't suck, guys.
No, but top at a club, right? Every club has 20 golfers like me, right? That's not an exaggeration, but I can play fine. I'm good enough to know that I stink, but a lot of them were like, well, mentally it's hard, but like if you put away the physicality and the athleticism, I'm like, no, we'll no. Like, we're not just going to like take that and put it aside.
Change the argument.
I will tell you though, golf, like one bad swing can ruin 4 days of work. That is mentally brutal. Like you can not convert a break point and you might get one again the next game. So I'll give you that. Like I don't know that every shot is as important as a golfer. But like you can miss me with all of the physical stuff. Like there's a lot of man boob in a golf event.
I've met some pretty chunky good golfers.
Yeah, like relief pitchers and golfers, maybe first baseman. All right, go ahead.
I don't know.
Shots
Relief
fired.
pitchers are starting to look a little bit more jacked.
Well, I mean, what was the alternative?
Get fatter, I guess.
Yeah, like David Wells pitched a perfect game. You remember that?
God, he was so good.
Yeah, he was good.
We also had an abundance of people that I think just wanted to physically fight you and took this as the opportunity. This one says, "Try boxing, little clown."
Yeah, boxing's legit. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the clown. I was just a clown. That was just gratuitous.
3 clown emojis in case.
But I also don't understand, like, that's not like try boxing. Like, it doesn't make them the best athlete. It just makes them really good at boxing.
Yeah,
like
I don't want to.
That wasn't what we said.
Is the argument like I don't want to get hit in the face?
I've worked a lot with UFC fighters. I think they're way better athletes
Amazing.
overall than boxers.
Amazing.
But
like I get it. Like, but saying like you box, I'll beat you up. Like, fine, but that doesn't do anything for the argument. Like you could beat me up, and that doesn't mean what I'm saying about tennis players being the best athletes is dismissed.
Okay, this one I thought was a joke, and then there were so many of them that I ended up doing some research about it, and it's not a joke. And this one just says, "What about badminton, though?"
Good. I don't. I can't really comment on sports that I've never watched.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't be the hardest
What
when
about Bigfoot?
15-year-olds turn pro.
What?
Okay, so
say that one again.
Can't be the hardest when 15-year-olds turn pro.
So the definition of pro in tennis isn't on tour. It doesn't mean you're on tour. When you turn pro, NIL may be a little bit different now. What that means is that you're accepting money from either a company who's betting on your future. It'd be like if LeBron James could have turned pro and not done the last 2 years of high school and instead could have just gone and trained. A lot of people need the infrastructure of leagues. We don't. So LeBron James would have turned pro 2 years earlier. Like there's just there's no doubt about it. All that means is that you're accepting money. That's by definition. Sophie, you could turn pro tomorrow if someone paid you.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me.
That might be the next Chuckers Club. Sophie is convinced that if you gave her a year, she could be a professional tennis player.
I've walked it back a little to maybe
A little?
2. Give me 2.
Okay. That's.
I'm really busy
might-
going through these meme
But
tweets,
again,
so I might need a little more time.
15-year-olds turn pro in soccer. I'm not understanding. Like
it's
15-year-olds turn pro in other sports.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know it can't be that hard if 15-year-olds turn pro. Okay, so basically it can't be that hard if, it's got to be
a phenom, like a really good one, like,
but all that
like Kim Clijsters.
all it means is that you're accepting money. Like in juniors, you're accepting money. It means that someone is willing to pay you for your potential. Is basically, I signed my first deal. I turned pro when I was 17. It was during my senior year of high school because Reebok wanted to pay me a lot of money. It didn't mean I was on tour the next day. I still had to go through minors and still had to, I wasn't consistently on tour for another 14 months. And that is a very fast timeline, like a super, super quick through the minors to pros. But yeah, all turning pro means is that you can accept money.
The youngest professional athletes currently are Sullivan, Cavan Sullivan. I don't know how to say his name. Plays for Philadelphia Union for the MLS. He's turned pro at 14 years old.
Freddie Adu.
McKenna Whitman plays NWSL. She's 14 years old.
I don't know. Yeah.
She signed her first contract when she was 13. But you know what? Soccer must not be that hard.
No, soccer's brutal. by the way.
Soccer's brutal. It's insane.
Brutal.
Yeah, I've left soccer out of this conversation for that reason.
No, it's like
Football, soccer.
sprinting though. Like that's another thing where it's like they cover so much ground, and when they cook, they are sprinting.
Have you seen the thing of when Cristiano Ronaldo jumps? Have you seen like the
it's-
comparison of him jumping?
Soccer's a joke.
He could like dunk on like a 12-foot hoop.
There are no, it's not a choice to not be physically prepared in soccer. You will get exposed in 4 minutes. You similar to tennis, you cannot fake. You can't hide from soccer. You just can't. You're going to get exposed so quick.
All right, last one, Sophie.
All right. There's a reason why he picked up a tennis racket and not an American football. He's soft.
I will tell you this. There's not a tennis player on earth who has picked up tennis at 18 years old and been a top 10 pro, right? There are many stories of people who just decided to pick up football at like 18 or 19 years old who have become pro bowlers. If you're athletic, you can probably figure it out at some point. I have the size. I'm 6'2". I 100% I can catch, I can run. I don't like getting hit though. That's true. I don't think I would like it, but I'm pretty confident, like given a decade of work, general foot speed for my size, putting on 20 or 30 pounds, I can catch. I could be a tight end for sure.
I mean, it's some of the greatest tight ends that ever existed were basketball players.
Correct. Tony Gonzalez and it's like
Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez,
Jimmy Graham
Julius Peppers.
Didn't even start
Hall of
playing.
Famer.
He didn't even start playing football until he was like 19 or 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Don McNabb played at Syracuse.
yeah, get out of here.
Pat Mahomes played like 10 sports.
Scram. Commenter.
Scram.
Like it's just one of those things. Like it's just, again, it's not apples to apples, right? And I hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
And NFL guys are freaks, and NFL does have a level of, the mental challenge of like learning your plays and playing this and reading things on a run and like quick reactionary things that are away from the ball.
Yeah.
That I think does separate the game from a lot of things. And I think a lot of major sports, especially team sports, once you get to the pro level, there is a layer of, mental sophistication that's required on the fly, right? And moving is like this like one amoeba type of thing. But I've only been around tennis at this level for a little over a year, and it is crazy to watch.
I'll tell you
the mental gymnastics that goes on in a short period of time, but then to hear you and other guys and women describe the doubt and like the self-doubt and the challenge and like the overall mental challenge, where like everywhere else you have a teammate to pick you up. Everywhere else you have somebody coming over and be like, hey, we got this. Let's stay in it. Like, let's go. Like, you have Tom Brady in your face yelling, let's go. And you're like, all right, we do got this. I mean, it's just, we haven't talked about the mental side of it. And I think that is something that a triathlete or a marathon runner has that's incredible. But again, they're not facing anyone else but themselves.
Yeah.
And tennis players have all of those challenges: physical, lateral, mental, endurance. And I think that's what you were trying to say about.
Well,
being
no.
the best
Here's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna boil it down. Maybe I thought I was pretty clear, and you can disagree with me, and that's fine. But almost every single tennis player that I know becomes a low single handicap, scratch to 2 handicap. Like Andy Murray went from a 10 handicap to a 2 in like 5 weeks, apparently. I watched Marty Fish with my own eyeballs go to the old Shea Stadium in New York back in the day, plays tennis right-handed, squared up left-handed, hit 6 balls out in batting practice. I watched him with my own eyeballs do this thing. Every single one you put a basketball in their hand, they can make 3-point shots, right? They're not going to get tired ever. They can go do other sports better than other sports can go play tennis, in my opinion. Like Marty Fish, you give him a football, like Uncle Rico said, he can throw a football over the mountains, Mike. Is that it? Is this it?
Well,
unless
this is
there's
either
one on the rack still, Sophie, that you feel like we need to pop off.
we're just going to close it out with this. This is either a mean tweet or a proud grandson, but it just says my grandma plays tennis.
Yeah, good. Sport of a
So
lifetime.
shout out to, I hope he's
Good, and
watching.
I'm
I hope
glad
he's a
she's able
Chuckers
to.
member. Shout out to your grandma.
Yeah,
We're happy for her.
My grandma plays tennis, but then we're also arguing about golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
Your mom plays tennis.
yeah. Your grandma plays tennis.
Your grandma plays tennis.
All right. Let's wrap this up. That was fun. We'll do it again. Maybe next show is Sophie's plan to become a professional tennis player from scratch. And maybe she'll prove my entire thesis wrong. Like if Sophie ends up being a professional tennis player, I'm wrong. Is that correct? Or are you just extraordinary?
yeah, you did start walking me through the steps of what it would take. And I think by about step 2 is when I decided like, okay, maybe 2 years.
What if we did, how about this? What if for a Chuckers Club and Mike's like, I don't have time for this shit because it takes like camera angles. What if we had a Sophie versus producer Mike showdown where you guys had a certain amount of time to prepare for a match?
Mike, realistically,
I mean,
like you can be as mean as you want to me. I do not care. Like, how do you think that would go? I
Me?
feel like we could.
You versus Sophie, you guys both have like 6 months to prepare.
Yeah, but Sophie, did you ever play any other like stick and ball sports?
I played tennis in middle and high school, but not like I just took lessons.
But like tennis, like at your country club, or like tennis,
Yeah.
like actual tennis?
Tennis at my country club. To be quite frank.
I mean, we could. I don't know. I don't know. I played stick and ball sports my whole life, so it's literally, it would probably come to me a lot quicker.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Oh.
I don't know though. I don't know. I feel
I'm
like
up for it if Sophie is, but I don't know. I don't want to.
I can't. I mean, we could do Techie Sean. We could do some Rocky montage videos. This could be great stuff. We could
when
get
I'm
just
delusional
we should get a
enough,
served Dingles
crazy
game
things
going.
happen.
we could
I think we should do Dingles,
Oh, Dingles.
or let's do a served doubles. It would be yeah. We'll do
People
that.
have been asking for that.
We'll take the 2 mics.
Have they?
Yeah, who's they?
Trust
Your
me,
mom?
I've seen it a
Grandma?
few times.
Jeez, Social Sophie 1 2 3 4 5 wants to see a video.
The people want it, okay?
Christ, nobody wants this, guys.
All right, yeah. Well,
They want to see. They want to see Andy Roddick and Kim Kleisters play Dingles. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, that's what they really
Kim,
want.
I'm trying to get her to come to Charlotte and get
She's
into our game.
busy. She's a global citizen.
She's just, I mean, just this.
She's in Belgium right now. I'm like, we're trying to get on a phone call. I'm like,
I mean, that's not the craziest thing. She's from Belgium. Like that. She's a global citizen. She's in the country she's from.
at least we'll get to see her. At least we'll get to see her at the Hall of Fame this year.
I know that'll be fun. I want to get. Like, I actually want Kim to come down, and she thinks she might. If she does come down to Charlotte just to rip stuff for a couple of days, we'll get some Dingles footage and we'll just chop fools. That'd be so much fun. Anyways, Chuckers, you guys are the best. Thank you for. If you are watching this, then that means you really like what we're putting out, and we really, really appreciate you. Social Sophie, kick ass. Everyone, check out Love All on our page with Sophie and the Kim Kleisters. They're putting out some great stuff right now. Producer Mike, blink twice if you're okay. You look like you're in a hospital, like being kept against your will.
All right, I'll get a new set.
All right. Thanks. We'll see you next week.